Hello and welcome to Crafting Unscripted. I'm Katherine from Katherine Learns Stuff, and it is another Thursday here, and we are approaching spring, and St. Patrick's Day is coming, and the birds are chirping, and it's still cold in my basement, so I have my faithful tea as always, and I'm just going to play with my screen here for one moment, so I apologize if I'm not looking at you, but if you are online with me, please drop me a hello so that I can make sure that you are seeing this, because as always, technology likes to be tricky, and I was trying to set some things up today so everything would work for the live session, and as usual, things were a bit slow and wonky and not always super cooperative. So if you are here, please drop me a note and say hello, and if you want to, let me know where you're from. And hopefully we will see some of our regulars, and hopefully maybe we'll see some new people today as well. So with that, let's get started. All right, so we are in unscripted crafting, or crafting unscripted, I should say, is what it's called. And today I thought, so lots going on here at the house because it's March break and there's chaos, and my kids may show up at any moment because I've tried to get them to sit quietly upstairs while they're using their electronics, and so that I can do some work here, and we'll see if we can make it through 30 minutes without the kids showing up. But having said that, since that might happen at any point in time, what I wanted to do was I wanted to quickly make some St. Patrick's Day craft, because St. Patrick's Day is a big thing at our house. We like to dress up and have fun and be green. And so I thought I would make some cupcake toppers today, and I'm going to walk you through quickly how to make some cupcake toppers. And so what I need to do before I do anything wrong, I need to change my screen here. And so hopefully this will show up on my screen. And so what I have here is I've opened canva.com, and hopefully you can hear and see me in the tests. Everything worked out for this, so hopefully it works. With this, what I'm going to do, all I've done is I've just created a new file, and I've set it up to be an 8.5 by 11, but it really doesn't matter what size you select. Now what I'm going to do is, I was just doing a little bit of pre-research before this started. I'm just going to select shamrocks, and this is what I'm looking for. And if you've never used Canva before, sorry, I should have said we're in the elements section here so that we can find out like an element. We don't want to do a whole design. We just want little bits and pieces. And so I've got some graphics here, and you'll notice these ones here with the stars are pro items, or with the crowns are pros, and we don't want that. We're just going to select the select all button and look for anything that doesn't have a pro. So like this one here, for example, is a good example. I like this sort of design, and this is all that I'm going to do with it. I've got this on my sheet. Maybe I'll move it over here. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to share this, and I don't know if you can see it on my screen. It kind of pops off to the side here. And I'm going to download this. Maybe this will work, maybe this won't. I'm just doing it as a JPEG. Let's see if this actually downloads, because my computer's been a little bit wonky. We're going to save this. Okay, no, I'm going to... Okay, and that's, our design is done from Canva. And now what we're going to try to do is we're going to go into Cricut Design Space. Now, before I go into Cricut Design Space, let me just look at my screen here for 1 second. So I'm going to show you my face, maybe, because it's a little bit difficult to see working on one screen. I'm used to multiple screens. So, hello, Martha from Seebeck. I've never heard of that place. But welcome, and thank you for joining me today. So we've got a design here in Canva, and now I'm going to go back to Cricut Design Space, and I'm just using Cricut Design Space as a sort of an idea. If you have designed, if you pulled out that shamrock in Canva there a moment ago, you can just print off a bunch of those, like copy and paste and print off a bunch of those, and then have it show up and print it and busy cut it. But I'm going to just pull this into Cricut Design Space to show you a few ways to work with this. And now, so what I've got here is I've pulled in this PNG here, and you'll notice that I've got all this white space. And what I need to do is on this side of my screen, I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, I'm going to select this little select button, and I'm going to, yeah, there it goes. It's a little bit slow today. So I selected, I clicked and dragged over the white space, and now I've got just the shamrock, and everything else is done. And I'm going to just do this as a single layer here. I can change it later if I'd like, but I'm going to continue this as a single layer. If you do it as a flat graphic, that's basically just for print and cut, and that's not what we're doing. And so this hopefully will turn out the right size when I go upload this into Cricut Design Space, and there it is. So this is my shamrock. Now I'm using this shamrock from Canva because when I looked at shamrocks from Cricut Design Space, I'm just going to shamrock it here. I didn't really like the way that they looked, and they're also not free. So if I just do my cursor and I select free, my choices aren't, there's not too many of them. This one's kind of nice, but I don't know. And we'll put this one on top of the canvas as well. But with this one, what I'm going to do, if I can, I'm going to close the screen here. I'm going to quickly change this, where's my contour button? Contour, and I'm going to hide this one so that it's all just like this. The only problem with this one is when if I cut this out as a, with just cardstock, this is going to be 5 pieces, and I don't really like that idea. But if I change these two to green, over here, I'm just going to change them to, oof, that's a better green. And I'm going to change their size to, let's go 1.5 inches for now. And change this to 1.5 inches. Okay, so I've got these two, and I'm going to duplicate them because I'm trying to do 2 different things at once here. Now, these two are just going to be print then cut, so I'm going to flatten them. And now these are, it didn't work. Oh, I gotta do them individually, so they're different pieces. Why will you not? I'm going to change you to a print then cut, and change you to a print then cut. And now these two are print then cut items, and I'm going to actually add an offset onto them way too big, just so that it cuts out like a little bit better. Okay, that's good. We're going to apply that and do the same thing. Oh, why does it always do black? Apply that, and we're going to change the color to white because I don't like that. And I'm going to select these two and flatten them. And I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. I'm trying to get a lot of things done here quickly. And I'm going to flatten that as well. So now these two are ready to print and cut. I'm going to duplicate them 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And then I'm going to duplicate these guys as well in 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 6 of this and 6 of that. And so hopefully that will make sense. I don't like these ones. I'm not going to cut these out in paper. Don't be silly, Catherine. We're not working with that. So I'm going to just duplicate these all one more time. So I've got 12 of these. Now this here, what I've got, these shamrocks that are outlined are going to be print then cut. These ones are going to be cut out on paper. Now we're making cake toppers, so we need some circles quickly. I'm just going to grab a shape. I'm going to make a circle, and typically I don't like my cake toppers to be bigger than 2 inches in size, because then they get, they're just too big for cupcakes. So I'm going to send this to back to make sure that kind of fits good there. And then I'm just going to double check on these guys here. Where did they go? That one, that one's not good. So we got to get these ones a little bit smaller. Where did we go? Just bear with me 1 second. I want this to be, didn't I? I'm going to change this to 1.5. And I'm going to delete these ones here, and then I'm just going to duplicate. Is that good? Yeah, that's okay. And that one, that's also good. Okay, so we're just going to duplicate this, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and now I'm going to quickly, oh, I need 12 of these. I need a bunch of these. So I'm going to do 1 on each side. So I'm just going to quickly make 12, 24 of these maybe. Whole bunch. All right, and we're just going to make this. We'll save it today because I can see this breaking on me when I'm mid-project here. Okay. So this first page here, just bear with me for 1 second. I'm just going to make sure people are still here. Hello, Jen from New Jersey. Oh, and Martha is, okay, Seabeck is west of Seattle. All right. I used to live in Vancouver for a while, and that was just north of Seattle, so I have a slight idea of where you are. Okay, so this one here is a print then cut. I'm just going to send this off to my printer right now so that this can start to print, and hopefully you're still seeing what's going on here. And I'm going to send this to printer, send this, required white matte. Yes, fantastic. We're just going to print this. And I'm going to get my other stuff ready here. Okay, as usual, Cricut is being a little bit silly on us. So now let me just get back to my face here. So hopefully you can all see me and hopefully everything is still working. In the background, my printer is printing and I'm going to try to start doing some other stuff. My printer's pretty quick. My idea here, I'm going to actually cut off these circles on yellow with my sticky mat, so everything's gonna like totally not cooperate. So I'm gonna send this go back into Cricut. You're not gonna see this for a second. I'm just going to try. Oh, what's happening? Please check the machine. It is on. This is the one. So my computer and my Cricut are not cooperating, which is standard practice at my house. And so I apologize. Please check their machine is connected. It's turned on, like it's right here. Why do you do this to me, Cricut? So this craft might not even work because my Cricut's not cooperating today. Sorry, folks. So what the idea is, I'm going to cut this out, and if this doesn't connect, I'm just going to do this on my iPad quickly because it's standing right next to me here. And then I'll have to sort of, okay, well, cancel this. Are you sure you want to cancel? Yes, I want to cancel. All right, so let's try this again. I'm going to just bear with me as I cancel this. Has this saved? Okay, we're just going to go to my iPad and do this on my iPad. I'm really sorry, but my computer and my Cricut don't always cooperate. And as I'm trying to do work today on my computer in front of everyone live, it's not going to work. So I can't really show you my iPad as I try to get this to work. But it's basically, in theory, it's the same steps, other than I will have to reprint the page that I just printed off because it will not set up the print page the same as it just did. So I'm just going to send this to my printer again and print this off again. My Cricut is on. Let's turn it back on again. Make sure everything works here. And so this is supposed to be a really quick craft, which is turning out to be not a quick craft. This is like whenever I'm making crafts on last minute, this is always how it happens. Something doesn't work, something doesn't line up, something's not cooperating. And so I'm just going to print this again. Hopefully there's still paper on my printer. And while that's printing, I'm going to go and I'm going to print off my circles. What do I got here? I'm actually going to print off my shamrocks first because those take a little bit longer to print. And then while I'm gone, this will all work out perfectly. I promise it'll work out great at the end. So I apologize for the chaos, but this is life with how it goes here. So my Cricut's right here at the side. I'm going to see if I can, kind of right there. Let's see if I can change the angle so you can see it. It's right there. Sorry, it's not a great angle. That's the best I can do. And so I'm just going to print off these shamrocks quickly. Now I made a bunch, so they should come out on my printer here. And then if you just bear with me 1 second, I got to go get that piece of paper that I sent to the printer. Alright, sorry, my printer's not close to, ooh, what's going on here with my screen? Sorry folks, I just had to move this and now it's, so my printer's not close to my workstation, which is a little bit silly, but there's no space here for a printer, so that was over there. So this is the print and cut that's come out. My shamrocks are half done cutting out, so that's going to be on the go. Now I'm going to use these ones. Whoa. While this is cutting out, I'm going to quickly put these onto a cutting mat. Now, that mat that I'm using is new and sticky. This mat is old and not washed. So you're going to bear with me as I tape this down to make sure this sticks. Because Otherwise, it's gonna pop right off and ruin the whole project. Now, while my shamrocks are printing, once I've got this glued down, I'm gonna quickly turn on my glue gun. And I'm just using green painter's tape for this here. And I turn on my glue gun so that I can have that ready for when I need it. Hopefully this will all work. I have to tape this down like there's no tomorrow. So, and so what is the weather like in Seattle and New Jersey right now? Here in Waterdown where I am, the weather is like -1 to 5 degrees Celsius. And the snow is melting. So these are cut out, and I'm going to put this back into my Cricut now, and I'm going to cut this out. And if all goes well, I've used enough tape, and there is somewhat enough stickiness on my printer paper for that. Now these guys I'm going to pull off. I apologize for all the noise. Super sticky. Card stock doesn't want to come off. So we're just gonna, too much. I redid my workspace a while ago, and I never, I didn't plan it out properly. I sort of, I thought I did. I thought I gave myself enough space, but every time I'm doing a craft, I always find that I still need more space. More. It's always what I need. And so this is going to go next. This is my yellow one. It's going to be the background. So my shamrocks are kind of going to sit on yellow because I thought, let's try yellow. I was debating black, but the kids said, let's do yellow. So they're going to be the ones that eat these cupcakes. So hopefully they'll like the design. So now while this is also printing and cutting, I'm going to turn my glue gun on so that it can be ready for the last step of this. And in my wisdom years ago, I made this like glue gun. This is not working. Of course it's not. In my wisdom a while ago, I made this glue gun residue holder. And whatever my glue gun drips, that's where it falls in. And so my Cricut is chewing up this shamrock, so it's a good thing I made a bunch of extra ones because maybe 1 or 2 of them will survive. And really when I do this, I typically don't rush this as much, but I'm trying to get this done in the half an hour that I've set aside for this activity today. And I don't know if you can hear my Cricut eating the paper over there, but it's doing a pretty good job. So this is going to heat here for a second, somewhere safe, in my limited space, and I'm going to start taking up these shamrocks out. Now today my shamrocks didn't cut out perfectly. Some of them got ripped, but that's okay. We'll just keep moving along. This cardstock that I used today is a little bit different than what I've used in the past, and I can see that I don't like it because it's not holding up, but that's okay. I got scissors. Alright, so this is the disaster of my print then cut. Fantastic. Things are looking good. And now I gotta do my last page here. And hopefully that one will work. So, but the nice thing is here, even though these ones turned out like a disaster, there are a few that are, I'm just gonna, I'm on cardstock, right? Yeah. This is going to be just 1 second. I gotta see if I can change this. Oh, this is good. I don't want to change my pressure's not cooperating. It's fast mode. Alright, well, we're just going to see what happens. Hopefully something will cut out properly today. So I'm going to see if I can pull a few of these ones off. Sunny and 41 degrees in Seattle. That's nice. We have sun, so that's a good thing at least. I'm hoping spring will start to come. My only problem with spring is that the birds like to try nesting in my backyard, and as pretty as the birds can be in the backyard, these ones are going to be pretty much lost causes. Maybe this one's still good. as pretty as it is having birds in the backyard, they do leave a huge mess, and I don't like that. So, so that's the one thing I don't like about spring. But so we've got a few shamrocks here with white outlines. Those ones worked out okay. I've got some here with that cut out okay as well from my other design here. I'm not going to use this paper again, I don't think. Now I've got more cupcake toppers than I need because I figured this was going to possibly cause an issue when I was making all this stuff. But, alright, that's good. I've got some circles for my cake topper backings. Alright, and now for the quick 1-2 assembly of this. I think I've spent more time making this than I had anticipated or I had wanted, but that's okay. That's kind of how crafting works. So I'm just trying to get all these. I didn't cut out all the circles that I had just because I'm not going to make 1,000 of these. We can always make more later, and if I need to update how many I've got here, that's no problem. So my glue gun's heating. That's for the last step. And I like to use my glue gun for the last step because it makes it a little bit easier, but for now we're just going to use this glue. So we have two options. You can do, when you're making your cake topper, you can have just one side and then on the back there's going to be a toothpick. So I've got some toothpicks here, so it'll just be like a toothpick sort of like on the back, or you can have two sides, like two shamrocks, one on each side, depends on how you want. So I'm going to do two sides, maybe, we'll see. And then first thing I got to do, let me organize myself here, and we're going to quickly put this together. I'm going to try to make some more space so we can see this a little bit better without too much chaos. 9, 10. So we're going to do 5 in total. So I'll do 1, 2, kind of like this. And so they're not... they don't have to, I'm just placing them down. Let's see which ones kind of look nice, if I can use that. There. And I'm gonna do 2 more of these green ones. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue these down here. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure you guys can see this on my screen. So I'm just gonna glue these together here. And this is really like, after having my glue sit for a little bit, it kind of doesn't like to cooperate because it's been just sitting since a few days ago. And I'm just going to glue these down. They don't have to be perfectly straight or anywhere in any direction. We're just going to glue these down so that they stick onto my design. Now I've made, I used the same shamrock design pretty much for all of these except for like this one here where I modified it. This one here I wouldn't recommend doing like as a cutting out just in cardstock because you're going to have a whole bunch of pieces of paper. And if you have lots of time and you like to fumble around with paper like that, that's cool, no problem, you can do it. I'm not particularly keen on doing lots of little itty bits of cardstock because I just find it takes too long and I'll get frustrated very easily with it. And so what do you guys do? If you work with cardstock, do you like to work with all the little intricate cut pieces, or are you more of a larger design glue person? So since I've sort of discovered print then cut, and then just doing it on paper and using that as glue, or even like a better cardstock, I prefer this method to cutting out colored cardstock in small bits and pieces. And so so that's my idea. And so Jen, you're saying it's 50 degrees and sunny, so it's even warmer at your place. So I think I might come and visit you in New Jersey and see what the weather is like, because it is not 50 degrees here. Okay, so these guys are ready. Now what I'm going to show you is when you're doing these, we want to try, I'm not very good at this all the time, we want to try to have them aligned so that they're kind of like, you know, standing upright. So this one here, for example, I want to make sure that I've lined it up this way, and my little toothpick is going to go here. Now my toothpicks are hot, my glue is hot, so I'm just going to put this down here, and that's ready to go. Now I'm going to do 2 sides on this so that it covers up the gross glue. And again, I want to make sure that this lines up perfectly here. And that's one little cake topper done There. So I'm going to do the other ones, and again, we want to make sure that they're facing one down. I can't, excuse me, I can't do more than one at a time here because my brain seems to be freezing on me when I'm trying to do this. And I can't pick these up. This one's going to go down like this, and I need some more toothpicks. Now you can put the toothpick, like the glue, onto the cake topper first, or the, sorry, you can put the glue onto the cake topper, or you can put the glue onto the stick, whichever one works for you. So these ones are done. We're going to do 2 more here. And the one thing is, if you're putting it onto the stick, you can actually kind of, let's see if I can show you this better. You can actually kind of like roll the stick around in the glue so that all sides of the stick get glue on them, and it makes it a little bit easier for the next one to stick on top, but not always. So that's typically how I do it, but you know, depends on the day and my mood and what I remember that I'm doing. So, all right, so there we go. So now I've got, we got 5 cake toppers. Well, there's only 5 of us in my family, so that's good, right? 1 for every person in the family. And so that's how we've got different cake toppers. Oh, sorry, cupcake toppers. And so these are for St. Patrick's Day. I did like, you know, gold. Maybe black would have been better, but I think yellow works nicely. And so that's how we have done it. Now, if you have made cupcake toppers, hello from the UK. Hello. Welcome, Ruth. So, so those are the cupcake toppers. Now, when I was making these, like, you can't just leave them so that they're, I'm just gonna, I've got an extra circle here. So I'll show you one without a backing on it, because I got some time here for a second, and I got an extra one. So this will work out perfectly because someone in my family can have an extra cupcake. So when I'm doing these guys, and I put this on here, same idea. Sorry if I was off screen there. I'm gonna put a cup. Make sure I'm lined up here. I'm going to put a toothpick on the back, and I'm just going to put my toothpick here on the back and let that dry. I'm going to turn my glue gun off so I don't burn the house down. Not sure what this is. Sorry, I'm using like some cheap glue in my glue gun because I ran out of what I had, and this is what I sort of found. And man, does it suck. It's like stringy and gross everywhere. Okay, so here's our cake toppers. This is what these guys look like. They're double-sided. So if you stick them into your cupcake, they're going to look nice on both sides, and these guys too, right? So we've got that. And so, but with this one here, it's like, woo, it's nice on one side, but kind of gross on the other side. So that's why I like to put a back on them. It's not a lot more work, but it's nice to have the difference on them. And you can, so last thing here, you'll notice that this is like a little bit opened. Not a huge deal, but you can always just put a little bit of glue in here and stick it shut, and then have it sticking shut on both sides. So it depends on how professional or how pretty you want these to look. That's what you can do. And then this glue that I use dries really quickly, so that kind of does that there. So I think that's kind of what I've got going. Oh, I forgot. So I forgot to do my housekeeping at the beginning of the episode here. If you have not yet done so, I'm participating in the Cardmaker Success Summit, which is happening March 20th to March 23rd, and it is a free summit, and you can get free tickets for it. They should be in the description that I have below for this video, and if not, I'm going to check when I'm done recording this to make sure that I've got them put in there. But you can get free tickets for that summit, and I've got a card that I've made in that as well, so you can get access to that free design if you watch my video on the day that it happens. But you're also able to buy VIP tickets to that summit, so it's March 20th to March 23rd. It's free. It's the Cardmaker Success Summit, and I have a link below, and if it's not there yet, it'll be there in 5 minutes because I think I put it in there before I did this video, but just in case, it's coming up. And also I've got my April, right, because now's March. So April, the first week of April on Thursday after my live session, I've got a Crafting with Katherine, which is a paid item where you can do a craft with me on live. And I give you the file for the design beforehand. It's not finished yet, the design, but it's going to be Easter related. So if you want to get I'm going to say free project. It's not a free project. It's got to pay for the whole thing. But if you want to get a project and work with me on a project, we're going to do an Easter one, and the link will be below for that in this video as well. If it's not there already, I'll put that in there once we're done recording. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. We've got some cake, some St. Patrick's Day cupcake toppers now, and we can get ready for the festivities on Monday. So I wanted to thank everybody for hanging out with us today, and I will be back next week on Thursday. So thank you so much, and let's see if I can find my last one. So thanks so much for watching, and happy crafting, everybody.